I'm very happy for the career choice I made. But research is yeah, is very highly creative and allows you a personal growth that many other jobs do not allow you. But is also very frustrating because you're looking for positions because not always your idea works, right? So that a PhD is actually like that. If you wanted to plot the function of your enthusiasm or project doing, you will see there is a lot of um, parts where the curve goes very down. Then you have peaks and tends to have lower peaks along the way, and then you finally release the thesis, and end out the thesis, and then your enthusiasm grows back, right? So yeah, there is a lot of it's very frustrating, the way of doing it, like old creative jobs, I would say. To be honest, there is this anecdote I like to tell to describe exactly the feeling, which role play games. And we already established I'm much older than you are, and most likely much older than the audience that will see this, watch this video. And when I think about role play games, I'm thinking like D&D, or these table games where you sit around the table. You have to interpret your character. It's not the video games type.
Hmm.
And something like Stranger Things. If you have seen D&D, the guys playing
Yeah.
around the table with the board, with dice. And there is this nice game which is called Call of Cthulhu, that comes from H.P. Lovecraft. Lovecraft was an author, an American author in the 19th century. He didn't just write novels, he built a mythology of monsters. Okay, and Cthulhu was like a big monster that you don't never want to encounter. And the characters here are not like warriors or mages like in D&D, but are common people. Okay, so it can be a secretary or a police investigator, or firefighters, or any person. And as all other games, they have a system to evaluate your health, like your physical health. And if you get shot, you lose points, and when you reach zero, you're dead. But the peculiarity of this game is that you also have sanity points, right? So I was trying to explain this game to my supervisor, Professor Jeremy Wyatt. And I was saying, so basically the game of the aim of the game is to stay alive and stay sane, right? To maintain your sanity and as well your health. And he looked at me and answered, basically, it's like doing a PhD. And that's really true. You go
Yeah.
through this process where you can be very frustrated, and you just try to maintain sanity to find us, to accomplish a thesis, and which for the PhD takes 3 years, so it's a big chunk of work that you have to accomplish,
Yeah.
and at the same time survive this experience. Most of the people I know, they have enjoyed their PhD, but all of them had issues, right? But if you are willing of taking this, like willing of grow, these are then it's kind of a trade-off. It's worth doing it. Not everybody is up for a PhD, not because they're not clever enough, just because some people prefer doing a 5 to 6 work, go home, and then forget about the working day, and have Saturday and Sunday doing their own stuff. While in academia, typically that doesn't happen because you work as you go. And if you think, when you're a PhD, you also think Wow, I'm doing so many things all together, right? And I have to organize myself, and I have plenty of responsibilities, and I have to do stuff. And when you become a postdoc, so after your graduation, then you realize, wow, now I have more responsibility because now I have to supervise students, I have to collaborate with other people, I have to do stuff. So then you're teaching, and it comes in bunch of other responsibilities. So as you grow, actually the responsibility grows.
Yeah,
But if it's also nice to work in a young environment where you talk with clever people, you grow because you listen to different point of views, you're able to teach things to younger students and try to be one of those clever people that influence yourself, and then you try to be the clever people that influence the other people. And I like teaching, and I also like supervising, in a sense that I like to collaborate with my students, to be part of the projects, and as much as possible, and to learn from them, especially with the conversional master students. So they have different backgrounds. That doesn't mean that is a bad thing. So sometimes they
yeah,
bring you some different point of view, which you will never thought about because you don't have the background, right? But so it becomes a real collaboration if you consider them like people, maybe not expert people, but people that can bring something, then you can take a lot out of them and you can actually grow. So, supervising a project, especially when the project is not really what you are expert on, you bring some expertise in some field, but the project, you know, goes a bit uh, up. It's broader than your field of
yeah,
expertise. Then at certain point, the students that is hands-on working on this project, they start learning more than you do on the other sides, and now you're learning, so you keep update on different research. Even if you don't do it yourself, you can learn because the student, you have supervision, you have meetings, you see the problems, and you try to come out with a solution. You take advantage of their background, and that is very interesting. The opportunity to
yeah,
collaborate with your colleagues, your students, your superior, and again. This aspect sometimes doesn't really happen in a standard company where you have specialized in doing this kind of job. When it goes outside your area, you just pass the ball to your colleagues next to you that knows how to treat that particular case. And I see no a very specific grow in one particular directions, which in my case tends to be not very appealing.
okay, okay. So you shared in detail what it is like to do a PhD, and after you have a postdoctorate degree as well. So what are the
Right, I
skills
don't want
necessary?
to scare the people, right? I was just trying to tell the truth. It's not so
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
super magic and super nice, and but it's a nice experience I've chosen, and I'm very happy again. But I don't want to discourage people. I just wanted to, open their eyes, knowing that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
being them is also frustrating, but it depends on how you balance this kind of stuff. Sometimes
yeah, yeah,
this frustration might come also another different experience. Life of unfortunately um, not frustration free. Uh,
yeah.
uh, Here you have a very particular kind of frustration provided by a particular situation. You need to know that that's the case. But
Yeah, I mean,
I experience with master thesis and the bachelor thesis that were research driven, and I actually enjoyed. And obviously, doing a 3 months of research is different than doing a 3 years of research. But if you
yeah.
like it and you enjoy doing it, then it's a valuable alternative.
I mean, yes, there would be certainly frustrating phases, but then the reward at the end is probably also what drives you. The sense that once you accomplish this thing, then it would be how amazing it would be to see your ideas into
Sure,
realization.
sure. Plus, if I can add another thing, a PhD in robotics, computer science, anyway, lets you grow, become create a set of expertise, then can be used in the market. If you want to find a job in a company after the PhD, you don't
Ah,
have to stay in academia forever. And especially robotics, because this idea that you have plenty of different fields and you need to know a bit of everything, then you can go to a company and say, my background covers a lot of different
yeah,
areas, so there might be an area that are interested for you to grow in that particular company, so you can sell yourself a bit better. And there are tons right now. There are tons of companies that are actually looking for hiring people with PhD for doing perhaps product driven research, but research, or more
yeah.
product development, and if you are happy with that, and it opens a lot of doors, I have to say, especially in this period, in this moment.